Hey everyone, welcome to KO Create and Ramble, where we listen to rambles both past and present and create in all sorts of ways. Today's ramble comes from October 30th, 2022, during a drive to the thrift store. For this video's creative project, I will be knitting using a simple loom kit I found at a craft store. I'm gonna make a tasty tea, and let's create and ramble! Recording! What's up? October 30th, 2022. Had to think real hard about that one. What up, recording? So, I got a kitten. I love my kitten, Olive. She's so cute. We found these kittens abandoned. Tried to wait around to see if the mother was around. Never saw her. Some big storms happening, so kind of like had to save them from the flooding. Anyways, they're so cute, and I adopted one, and her name is Olive, and I love her. And so she has been my inspiration for today's recording. So, there you go. I gotta think about what it is. Now, this thought is like, it's not brand new, and I'm pretty sure I made a recording a few years ago, like, about children that share some similar themes. So, yeah, I don't recall exactly, but I've just been like holding her in my arms. She's so cute. She just falls asleep in my lap, and it's so sweet. Aww. And she's just so cute, and and I'm just watching her, and I'm just watching her play, and she's so sweet and so cute, and I'm so full of love in my heart. And I'm like, let me preface a bit here. I've never been a cat person. We had dogs growing up. I was like attacked by a cat in my youth. So I even, held a bit of a disdain for cats for a while, but that has obviously changed because now I love her so much, and she's so cute, and I'm pretty sure she loves me too, so that's awesome. But yeah, anyways. So never thought I could fall in love with a kitten like this, but yeah, it's just melted my heart. So, and that brings us to now. So I thought, while I sat there with my sweet little Olive, that isn't this just like God's love? Because I'm just watching her, and she's so cute, and she's just playing around, and just learning, and doesn't even know. And there's a few different points I wanted to cover. So the first one is just this overwhelming love for her as she's just like napping in my lap, and I'm just like, I love you. You are so cute. Look at your cute little face. And I can't wait for her to like wake up, and I'll get to see her, and I'll be there for her. And it just it reminded me of this sermon once that I heard at a church. I'm trying to remember where it was. Point is, they were talking about God's love, right? And how he was talking about his daughter. And it's like, there's a lot of parallels here. For most people, I feel like this could be children, but I'm experiencing it with my kitten. But yeah, so he was just talking about, couldn't wait for his daughter, to wake up when she was born, just his love for his daughter, and just wanting her to be just so happy and loved, and to know that he was there for her, and just wanted to watch her, just wanted to look at her and be there when she wakes up, and couldn't wait to see her. I don't know, it's just he compared that to how God, is with us, and how the Lord doesn't sleep. He's always present and near us and looking out for us, even when we don't realize it. And so, I thought of that sermon, when I was looking at her asleep in my lap, and I was just like, oh, I really do just feel that love, and it just it was cool because then it reminded me, like, wow, God, you see me this way. Like, you see us this way. You love us so deeply that we're just so precious in your eyes, and I think of that verse, oh man, is it in Isaiah? You are precious to me and honored, and I love you. I think it's Isaiah 43, like 1 maybe, or 3, 43, 3. I'll put it on the screen. But yeah, it just like she's so cute, and just thinking that word precious, it's like I really understand more, like, wow, she's so precious in my eyes. And I felt that way when I was holding my baby nephews and nieces. It just like, they're so precious, and it's like amazing and just like so miraculous to have this tiny being just totally dependent, on you and on the parents to be there for them. And so it's just, and you want to just like love them so much. So yeah, that was just cool, and just understanding, like, wow, that's how I am in your eyes. Like, that's when you say you are precious to me, like when God says we are precious to him, it's like, oh my goodness, that's like a fraction of what it must feel like for him, and it's very special to think about that. And then, okay, so that's kind of like point one. And then the other thing I thought of was just like, oh, and two, in that, like, so precious in his eyes. Like, I'm watching her play around, right? And then you're also kind of like, they don't know, right, everything. They don't know what they're doing. And you're like, okay, I don't want you to, like, okay, I'm like eating food or something, and I'm like, I know this food isn't good for my cat if they eat it, or my kitten. And so I'm like, oh, you can't have my chocolate bar, but she wants it so bad, and she is like finding any way to climb up to get it, and it just was making me think of like how the Lord, there's some things that we want so badly, and he's like, I can't give you that. Like, that will hurt you, like, that will harm you, it will cause you to get sick, it will spiritually, hurt you, and or physically, depending, whatever it is that it might be. Like, he knows what is best for us, right? And so I was just thinking of that with her, and also like a little bit with, like, she's playing and just like wants to like scratch things, and sometimes just does things that I'm like, I hope you don't end up destroying my couch or something, and you try to just lovingly remove her from that habit. But it's like, even in that, even in her, like biting my hand or something or whatever, it's like, I still just love her. She's still so precious in my eyes. And it just makes me think about how even in our sin, even in failure and imperfection, like, God still sees us as precious. Like, he still loves us. And that's why it's so amazing that while we were still sinners, he died for us. He came and died for our sins. Like, he wasn't like, hey, you figure this out, then I'll love you. It was like, no, he loved us so much that even in our sin that we don't even always realize. Oh, there's a martial arts place over here. I really want to learn like a martial art, But anyways, even in that, we still are precious in his eyes. And so it's just like kind of seeing that, or understanding how that might look like for God in the way that he looks at us and sees us in our sin. Even though I see my sweet little Olive, like kind of doing things, or yeah, she scratches me or something, or bites me, or scratches up my shirt a little bit, and I could be like, man, come on, like, but it's just like, I still just love her. She's so sweet, and she's still just so precious in my eyes, and I want to help her. I want to teach her, not to do those things. And for me, it's like whatever, but I really don't want her to grow up and be like, yeah, every person who comes here, I'm gonna like bite their fingers all the time or whatever. And granted, she's a kitten, so but it's like, so yeah, I take the time to like learn how to kind of help lead her to a toy rather than to my hands or something. And so that's kind of like with the Lord, we're still precious in his eyes, even in our shortcomings in our sin, and he just still guides us, lovingly guides us so that, we can grow and live in a way that is like for our benefit too, and honoring to others, right? So that we can be more loving to other people as well. Okay, and then the other point was going off of that. What was it? Oh, and then it was just like, because I'd think about too, like, oh, she's like climbing up things and doing this, or she'll come to my feet and like meow at me, and it's so cute, and it's just like she wants to come up, and I'm like, you can get up, like I know she could climb up there, or like I know she can probably even jump up here, and maybe she's not old enough to reach some heights, right, with her jumping abilities, but it's just kind of watching her and realizing she doesn't even know what she's capable of yet. Like, she's still learning. She's a kitten. She's learning, like, oh, I can climb this. Like, oh, I can, like, jump from here down to the floor and I'll be okay. And so it's really fun to watch her kind of learn that. And in that, like, realizing so many times I've been like, you don't even know what you're capable of, and just thinking that with, like, the Lord and the way he looks at us. And just, like, he's like, oh, you have no idea, all that you're capable of. And just, like, we can be so hard on ourselves, right? Or not even realize we've been given these gifts and what we can use them for. And I feel that way when I really I connected with the Lord. There are all these things I love doing, but when I really connected in my faith and with my Creator, realize, oh my goodness, Lord, I want to partner with you with these desires and these gifts that I feel like you've given me, and these passions for the things I love doing, in my case with creating and stuff. And I talk about this, I feel like, a lot, but it just, when I came into relationship with Jesus and really started including the Holy Spirit in my creative process, it was like nothing I'd ever experienced. It was just a million times more amazing, and it just also like helped me. I felt strengthened, I felt inspired, I felt motivated in ways I had never experienced before. And it was just so cool, especially because I talk about this in my book, but like, because I felt for so long that I would be giving up my creative source by turning to Christianity, by turning to God. I thought it meant I was going to have to give up all these things, and I wouldn't be creative anymore because, like, I wouldn't have drugs, or like, I'd have to give all that stuff up or whatever, and then I wouldn't be creative, which was like such a lie. I felt like my creativity really sprouted once I found my faith. And so that always to me has just been so crazy and cool. And so, but like, that's the thing, like, I didn't even realize my potential, and God was there looking at me, and he's like, there's so much I know you can do, and that, like, I've put on your heart, and the abilities I've given you, and the passions to pursue, when we come before him and we're like, okay, Lord, like, I want to do this, like, give me your insight and your wisdom, and help me hear the melodies that you have for me to create. And just like when we partner with him in whatever it is we feel drawn to do, it's amazing what comes out of it, and just things we thought we couldn't do, the barriers that maybe were in our way, or the obstacles. And like, he opens doors for us, he allows for things to happen and helps us in that pursuit. And like, when we're diligent, and it's not like you're just like, hey God, I hope this happens, and then it's like some magical thing and he just does it. We partner with him, we're diligent and put in that work and grow, and we realize, like, wow, I'm capable of so much. I never knew it. And when the things where I feel weak, like, you become my strength. And it's just really cool. And so that was the other thought. Those are kind of like the three main ones I feel like I wanted to cover, that just like I kept seeing Olive and would think, and I'm like, oh, isn't this just cool, God, because I'm getting to relate to you. And so many times in my life, I've talked about these things, especially I think the love one, of just the love of a child. And it's something, that it's like, I know I haven't actually experienced it, but I could like understand the concept of how the love you would have for your child, like, and understanding God's love for us more in that. It's just cool, with this kitten. Like, who knew we would have these kittens just show up in our backyard, and I feel so just like grateful and happy to have Olive now and to take care of her. And it's just so cool how the Lord, I feel like, is using it to grow me and teach me more about His love for me, about just the way I interact with the world, and how sometimes when I don't realize all that He has in store for me, or all that I'm capable of in Him, to accomplish more than I even realize, I'm sure. And also just being willing to trust Him, right? The way Olive is going to trust me to feed her and like looks to me to help her. And it's just like, oh my goodness, that's how we are to Him. And trusting too when she's like, hey, I'm hungry, and like, hey, like, okay, I'm working on it, I'm getting the food ready, I'm doing this, and she's just meowing at me like from the moment we wake up until the food is in the dish. And it's like, even though I'm like going through the process, it's like she's like, I need to tell you that I'm hungry. And I feel like that's with God. He's like, I'm working on it. Like, we come to Him, we're like, Lord, oh my goodness, I need you. Like, do you hear me? And He's like, I'm literally working on it. He's probably like, yep, I'm preparing it. But we don't like always see it. We don't understand it. We can only understand so much, in our kind of finite thinking. And so, yeah, it's just kind of interesting to get those perspectives with having this kitten, the joy of my life currently, besides Jesus, of course. So I thought that was fun, and that would be a fun recording to talk about while using this loom and making yarn, because, yarn and kittens seem to be a combination. And this has been really fun. I've never done anything like this before with this loom kit, so I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely learning process, but it was really cool to try it out, and hopefully can do more in the future. But yeah, I just love those crossovers that the Lord's been giving me the past couple weeks, as I have my cute little black Olive in my life now. And just God is so good. His love for us is just insane. I never knew I could love something so much as I love this little kitten, because she's just so small and helpless. They were so little when we found them, so watching them grow, it's been like the coolest thing. And I worry about her, and I care for her, and I want the best for her, just this little kitten. And so just realizing like, wow, I feel all of this in my heart towards this cute little being. Imagine what the Lord of the universe, my Father in heaven, my Creator, imagine the love He must have towards me, and that's just insane and so hard to grasp, right? And that's the kind of love that does transform you when you really sit in it and contemplate it and realize, and that He would be willing to give up His own Son, that He gave His Son to die for us on the cross. Whoa, that is intense. That kind of love is just beyond understanding, I think. So, yeah, just loving it. Loving the crossovers there, the little perspective. So, yeah, I think that is all for now. Might be some more kitten thoughts in the future, because I know there's a few others, but I feel like that's good for today. So, that is all for now. God is good and seen. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe for more videos, and please leave a comment of any creating or rambling ideas you'd like to see in the future. This has been KO, here with you to create eternal perspective.